Lots going on. We went to see the American Society of Magical Negroes. And I had posted it on our Facebook page, and somebody said they wanted to go see it. So they wanted to know what we thought about it. So I said, okay, we'll talk about it. The beginning of the show. There's no problem. We'll talk about it. Just right off the bat, what did you think of it? We'll go detail later, but off the bat, what did you think of it?
I get what they were talking about as far as the topic, the subject matter of the film, and it makes a lot of sense in our world as Black people, Negroes, people of color, wherever.
So some people got a problem with the word Negro.
I know.
Which I say that because I can't say the A word at the end, which is what I usually say.
Well, Negro should be a name you can still say.
No, they don't like that. They don't like you.
Who is they?
Current. They don't like that.
The N word is the other.
I know. N-word. They don't even like Negro. They say that's old, like colored. They look at that as the word color.
No, I don't. Because I'm like
the younger generation.
Negro, please.
Yeah, the younger generation. They don't like
that.
you
saying the IA,
yeah,
the NA or whatever,
which is what I normally say.
Yeah, that please. But even with the NAACP, you know, colored people, Negroes, it's still used in terms where you can play it off. It's old school term maybe still, but as long as most people have really, really problems with the other N word, the other version of it.
Now, you said you thought it was going to be something else than what it was. I
really thought from the previews.
What did you think it was going to be?
A lot of comedy.
They had some funny in there.
It was moments, but it was dry. It was I don't know. It really, I wasn't thinking the way the previews were shown that it was going to be like as slow as it was.
The slow pace.
Yeah.
And it was really mostly about that one guy.
And I thought
that's probably why you probably was like.
And the storyline I thought would be more than just him.
That's what I'm saying. You thought it was going to be the other.
Yeah. Would have their own little.
It would have probably been better if they showed all of them.
Yeah.
Like what was going on in their lives and the people they had to follow.
Or if he was a little more, to me, his character was dry. For me, I don't know if it was, let's just say for sake of argument, it was a Mike Epps or a,
I don't think he would have been able to play that part though.
Or another personality that is not, to me, dry.
Okay.
So that was my opinion there. I just felt he was dry, even though they were they were mainly focusing on him learning and whatever he needed to do. He just, to me, was dry.
Now it says here, I'm just looking at some one of the reviews.
Oh, okay.
The American Society of Magical Negroes review: strong lead performances save the debut feature from disappearing. I thought he was good too. I didn't think that. I thought his humor is probably what you don't like. It's that type of humor. That kind of
No, I didn't mind the humor. I just thought
him. Yeah, his type of humor.
I just felt somebody else could have played that
part. Oh, okay.
I don't know. I just didn't. I love when he went to the actual place that what's his name had taken him. I don't want to tell too much of the movie.
Somebody says the execution leaves the satire feeling lukewarm.
Yeah.
But they say they like, due to the lead character, he pretty much saved it. Thanks to the lead performance from Justice Smith, it said he kind of saved it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I agree to. I think.
I mean, they're good actors, no doubt there. I just felt that the storyline was too much on him.
I didn't know it says here the term was coined by Spike Lee in 2001, the magical mystical Negro.
I thought I remember him saying that.
I
really thought I remember Spike Lee saying something like
that. Yeah. Wow. So if I guess I had to give the premise of the movie, it was, you got to keep white people happy. In order to survive as a Black person in this country, and it's not far-fetched, white people need to be happy. In order for like a cop, so that he don't just gun down the first black men that they see. They always gun them down. Keep him happy, and keep him feeling safe.
Yeah,
you don't want to come off unsafe to white people. Which black people been saying that for years. We've been saying that.
And some care a lot and some don't.
It's kind of like they were trying to show this is what black people talk about when y'all not around white people. These are the conversations we have when white people not around with each other.
What do you mean?
We say stuff like white people don't feel safe. As long as you're a safe Negro, they'll like you. Oprah Winfrey safe.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan is safe.
And
as long as you don't talk too much jive,
right, and
they don't understand you, and you don't dress too crazy.
You're not a threat to them. You're not scaring them or making them fearful.
You're not making them fearful.
That you don't want them fearful or uneasy.
We've always been called safe Negroes. We're safe Negroes. When people meet us, we're usually funny. White people like us because we're funny and approachable. We don't scare white people.
And you be concerned with making them happy, like she said earlier, where if they're in a dilemma or they're uneasy about something in their life or a situation they're going through,
you got to make them feel comforted.
What's going on? How you feeling?
The old mother back in they show back in the days. The black lady that takes care of the maid and don't worry, Johnny, you be all right now, baby. Now you make him feel good. Go to Aunt B. Aunt B will make you feel good. She'll make you a piece of pie and she'll sit you down and tell you a story and don't let those kids bully you down. You got to stand up for yourself.
To the expense of you may not have what you want or what you feel is deserving.
That's not important.
That's not important. It's keeping the white person happy.
As long as they're happy,
yes,
then they don't kill us.
Yeah, you're safe. You go home.
And he gave. I don't want to give away the movie. Right, it came out too early. I mean, it just came out, so no spoiler alerts.
Okay,
we won't tell parts of the movie that bring that to light. What we just said. When you go see it, you'll see what we're talking about. Again, I thought that the premise was fine. I thought the idea was different, kind of like that Get Out type of movie, where it's like mystical or something.
And it was the comedy helped.
The comedy helped. I thought David Allen Greer was good.
Yeah. And he usually is.
Yeah. What lacked, in my opinion, was I would have liked to seen those other stories.
Yeah.
That they were talking about.
They brought him in
less of the bit. Guy, the main guy, and more of maybe us traveling back in time and seeing those stories. I thought it would have made it a better movie.
Where he views their stories in more detail.
Yeah.
To learn as well what he had to learn.
So let me see what other people said. Let me read what some other people said. And hopefully, I'm not going to try to read any spoiler alerts. Somebody said this movie is pure trash. I mean, honestly. And to be honest here, I haven't seen a movie this bad in a decade.
Wow. Go watch Mea Culpa.
Thank you. Mea Culpa was horrible. This movie wasn't horrible. And so we should say that then. If you thought Mea Culpa was the best movie in the world, you would love this. All right. Madam Web is Lawrence of Arabia compared to this.
There was some out of
racism aside. I get to that in a moment. This movie is really about nothing. You think it would be similar to Key and Peele's sketch, which was in itself interesting and funny, but take away the few minutes of magic and it becomes self-absorbed delusion about a mixed insecure Generation Z kid who acts like he has no idea what the hell is going on in the world. That is true.
Yeah.
The banning of TikTok would make a better plot than this film presents. That I agree. I think his character seemed out of touch with everything. Mm-hmm. It's almost as if they plopped him down in the middle of 2024 and he had no clue of what was going on around him. That's the one thing I did dislike about this. Him being an interracial kid, he should have been more self-aware of race and everything. Because I'm sure he got it from all points from everybody.
But you know what? When you look at the documentary of Kaepernick with his family, and he by being biracial, he really wanted to embrace his black side, but his white parents were uncomfortable with him embracing his black side because they felt like, do you need to go to the black neighborhoods? Do you know, to get your hair braided? So to me, I was expecting more of that type than this young guy's character portrayed in this as a biracial kid.
It says, when it comes to racism, this film is blatant racist, and the people saying it's not are the same type of people that were saying blackface in early Hollywood was just comedy. I see some reviews saying the film is only for black people, and that if you're not black, then it's not for you. I didn't get that. Okay, even if that was true, when does a film become only about white people? How racist would it be if Blade or Swan were both turned into white characters? Not only would it ruin the soul of the film, but a certain group of color would be up in arms about it. Now, that part I disagree. I think both black and white people can get something out of this movie. But I can see how a white person would be uncomfortable with this movie.
Just the name alone.
It's very liberal.
Because the guy I sat next to, he was pretty young.
It's generation. Yeah. This is a Generation Z movie.
Yeah, younger folks. Younger folks wouldn't care. They'll go see it and they'll laugh. Some stuff they'll understand, some stuff they won't.
And white people, if you're young and white, you probably won't be offended by this movie.
Right.
But an older black white person would be.
Yeah.
Because it's making an assumption that you think a certain type of way.
Right.
And you might say, I don't think like that. Why would you assume that because I'm white, I think like that?
Or you're black or any other ethnicity.
You've given several examples of your old job. And white people who work in the city of Chicago, who live in the city of Chicago, act different than a lot of the white people who live in the suburbs.
Yeah.
This movie didn't show that.
You are your environment. And a lot of times people, we need to understand as we're getting older, our environments are different than for the kids now.
There are some white people who are used to black people.
Yeah.
They live in Chicago. They're used to black people.
Right.
So they're not scared of black people.
No.
Like if somebody black come up and say, hey, can I borrow? They ain't gonna be, oh! Something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whereas maybe some white person that lives in a suburb or something that's not around a lot of black people might be a little bit less approachable.
Right.
This movie did not have different nuances of white people.
Thank you.
So maybe that's what this person is saying.
The audience that's watching this movie, it depends on your age.
It pretty much made all white people the same.
But it makes you think, kind of like American fiction. It makes you think in a white society, we're a country of labels. I notice in other countries, they're not as much, even though racism may happen in other countries. I'm not naive to not say that. But our country tends to look at it different than going to Europe.
Yeah.
Going to anywhere in another country where they see race a little bit different.
They more with color than they are with race.
Yeah, or income level.
Or income.
Yeah.
They more with income or color. Yeah. If you dark versus light.
And
you could be the same race.
Yeah.
But if you're dark, then it's different. You might be treated a little different. So they don't look at race kind of the same way. They look more at color at some countries, and in some countries, like you said, class. They look more at where your class is. They don't. The race is, if you're poor, they don't care what race you are. You can be their race and still be stepped over.
It's almost like this movie was taking us back to the 50s and 60s where, how you do, sir? How you do, sir? You get off the sidewalk for the white people to
That's
walk.
what kind of
the back for them to sit in the front.
That's what I kind of felt like with this movie. Like the Society of Negroes.
Magical.
I thought we was gonna go see all people David Allen Greer's age. Old black people. And then this young guy was going to say, we don't do that no more. Yeah. That's what I thought this movie was going to be.
Yeah. And just kind of bring them up to the current.
You don't have to say yes, sir, no more. Yeah. You don't have to look down anymore. You don't have, you know what I mean? That it wasn't what I thought
and
it was.
And it would have been a magical feeling as an older person to feel that. That younger person is saying, we're all, treated different, the same.
I think I would have liked the movie better if they would have done that.
Yeah, I was expecting something kind of like that.
Yeah,
not
like when he said. My mom kept saying that quote when he said, "What's the most fierce animal on the place on earth? A white man." So she thought she was gonna go see that movie where an older man, black man, is saying that, and maybe a younger black man is like, "What?" Maybe if in a uniform we think like that, but not just normal.
It is a different movie. So I'm not going to even say who you may like it, you may not.
You may like it, you may not.
This is a difficult one.
It says David Greer spent at least 30 minutes on the premise that whole purpose that this magical society is to make white people happy so that they don't go on a rampage against black people. If that's not racist, then what is? Imagine if a film was about a group of magical white people who did everything they could to make black people happy so they wouldn't go on a rampage.
That would be wonderful.
Actually, that's not a bad movie.
I'm sorry that you're trying to be funny with the analogy, but that's been the problem with our race for historically. We were not being
That's actually a movie that would be different.
They think that they in Twilight Zone if that happens. Because think about the history of our people coming to this country. They were not thought to make us, we were treated as property.
So can you imagine, but then there was some things, and again, I can't say it because I don't want to give the premise of the movie away, but the young man's monologue at the end, I thought was good about how you feel as a black man.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good.
Yeah.
This person says, in conclusion, this movie is pure garbage. It has a plot that goes nowhere and kills the brain cells. Regardless of your skin color, save yourself time, money, and energy, and go watch paint dry. He really didn't like this movie. Believe me,
I didn't really like it either, but
I don't think I'd rather go see paint dry.
I won't see paint dry either.
You'll be provided more entertainment than this movie gives. Again, that Tyler Perry movie was worse.
Yeah, at least this movie had good actors
and good wigs.
You may not like the storyline. Storyline may have been a little weak. I get the message,
and I didn't have to see anybody's butt.
Yeah, but yeah, I at least if I'm gonna get a bad storyline, can I have good actors at least? So okay,
so that's our thing.
You gotta go see it.
If you don't go see it, to me, you can see it at home. Yeah, it's one of those. Wait till it come on television.
I wouldn't waste money,
and you'll be okay.
Yeah. Unless it's a cheap night like we have our movie nights.
What you mean?
Tuesdays, I believe, unless they changed it, is cheaper ticket wise. Tuesday.
Oh yeah, go Tuesday.
If you have a certain night where your movies are cheaper,
yeah, I wouldn't spend a lot of money to go see it
or get you some disc promos.
Again, I liked David Allen Greer. He's always good.
There were certain parts of the movie I did like. I thought like that was different. How they had you see certain things, but overall, was that a white person's comment?
That was probably a white person.
They're gonna say, for me, I don't know why they didn't at least say, yeah, there are people who are like that young boy.
Because this is a white person who
feels that I always got to go, yes, sir, no. Yes, sir, yes, the person sir, to every white person.
The person who wrote that review, I guarantee, is conservative white person.
Right.
because it's either white people a lot of times are either on the extreme. Mm-hmm. They're either far left, where they think that they are the reason why that black people was in slavery, mm-hmm. and they feel for the rest of their life they owe it to black people to make it up to them. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. My people in bondage, your people. They that far on the other side, or they on the other side so far right, mm-hmm. where they don't believe in nothing. That's systemic racism. And you know what?
And you still beneath me.
And to be honest with you, I take that back. You can't even say white people anymore. Right. Because there's black people who think the same way. Exactly. There's black people way on the right side, mm-hmm. that think there's no such thing as systemic racism, mm-hmm. like Candace Owens, yes. and Tim Scott with his ugly self. Uh-huh. And they way on the other side. They stupid until it's time for them to catch a cab. Mm-hmm. And they can't. Well, that's just that cab driver. But then when you talk about, well, do you know that it's actually written in the thing that mm-hmm. says this? Mm-hmm. Then they'll go, well, that's just that cab company. They'll mark it off as,
you know what I'm thinking too?
One-offs, two-offs.
When you made that comment and you used those two as examples, for some reason
two boneheads.
Tim Scott, a lot of times, and it's not always, but a lot of times people like him, they feel like because they arrived or they got over, there's no issues.
Yeah. Candace Owens didn't grow up in the hood where people was firing gunshots at her. Yeah. And forcing her to join gangs.
He keeps talking about his single mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's white people who grew up with single moms. So what?
You're doing well, Tim Scott. I want to give it to you.
Or they'll be the ones that they grew up in the projects and they made it out. I didn't join a gang and I didn't get shot. So I wasn't forced.
I pulled myself up
by my bootstraps.
You can too.
Yeah, they probably. My mom wasn't there for me all the time, and I was able to make it. Those are those people. Yeah, and so they think that they are the norm. Mm-hmm. For everybody.
And everybody should follow that path.
Yeah. And they should.
No problem.
But if they don't blame them. Yes. Why would you blame them for not having a grocery store in their neighborhood? And having fruits and vegetables. Yeah. And a liquor store on every corner.
Or blame them because the insurance place did not depreciate their home value the same as the white neighbor next door. Is it their fault because you as the insurance company said, no, we only giving you this much?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So a lot of times things happen because systemic racism is there, and those who can help try to clear that up, that's your job. Do it.
So that's what the person who wrote this thing, they probably far right, white person who doesn't want to, they don't want to say I had nothing to do. That was my great-great-grandpapa.
Yeah.
He don't have nothing to do. Not saying that your great-great-grandpapa probably took land from somebody that you owe that family, to be honest with you. Yeah. You know, so that's all I'm saying is that it's just
so whoever that person was.
Everybody needs, and then that goes with black people.
Yeah.
There's white people who grew up poor dirt. Mm-hmm. Who didn't have shoes either. They grew up in the hills of Tennessee. Where they was on the mountain and they had nothing. Yeah. So when they say they know what it means not to have nothing to eat mud sandwiches, they for real. And you think black people be like, we the only people in this country who didn't have nothing.
That was why I liked that one episode with Wonder Years with the black kid, the black version of Wonder Years. I told you with the two moms, the one black mom and the Jewish mom. And the black mom, a lot of times we always feel we're the victims. We're the victims of racism. We're the victims of systemic racism. Until she heard that Jewish mom's story, she had to sit and go,
there was Jewish
both
people.
Both of us are being discriminated.
There was Jewish people whose houses was burnt down.
And they became friends because of the struggle.
So, Irish. Yeah. When they first came over. That's what I'm saying. Everybody got a story.
Yes.
Native American.
Yes.
So meet people where they are.
Yeah. Judging by the character, not the color.
And I don't just say because somebody's black. Like I said, I've seen too mmany bonehead black people that I don't just put you're not in my class because you got the same skin color.
Exactly.
Not every skin color is the same. It's kin.
Thank you.
Because there's some black people who did not grow up. They don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about the hood. They like, what you talking about? I grew up with a doctor and a lawyer as my mom and dad.
I had the Huxtables as my mom and dad.
I went to Harvard, and I didn't have any problem getting in. So they not gonna know what you talking about.
Yeah.
So I've never caught a cab, so I don't know what that's like for them to
true. I never rode a school bus. My mom would always take me to school.
Yeah. And there's some biracial kids who sometimes they go through stuff, and there's some biracial kids who don't.
They
blend right in whatever school they at.
That's right.
So just meet people where they are. That's all I'm saying.
Are you recommending? Again, you're recommending to maybe wait.
I wouldn't go see the movie in the theater unless I was paying $5 for the ticket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you do want to go see it with an open mind, with us telling you that this is probably not the best movie that you're going to see.
Yeah.
But if you want to go see it to support it and it's, it's in this message, then go see it. Okay. I would wait for it to come on television. That's my opinion. Okay. All right. Emerald says, salutations.